Been trying to think of how I'm gonna start this, but to be honest, the last 7 years for me has been dark. I've been lost, and not sure exactly how I was getting out of it. I was missing an element, right? So I've been to church regularly. This will be the 5th week in a row, I believe. And I mean, my journey back to God has been actually started a few months ago, but probably in the last month I've really become more actively pursuing to get back closer to God. And then the assassination of Charlie Kirk happened, and I wasn't a huge follower of him. I mean, I've seen clips come up of him. I've just got so much to do that I can't watch every person that comes up on social media that I might be interested in, but it hit me hard, you know, leaving behind children and a wife. And what struck me about Charlie is his conviction of God and the Savior. And it's just made something click in me that makes me want to double my effort back to God. And it's going to be a hard journey, but I'm going to make every effort. I've still got work to do. But to start this first episode off, I want to just go over some things that I didn't necessarily do in my prior marriages. And I think it's the key, start of a key anyways. But the priorities in marriage are, so number one is God. God should always be number one. Because honestly, without God in your relationship, there's nothing. And then number two priority should be your spouse. And your relationship, I believe, can be strengthened by having God as number one. And then number three is your children. And I mean, I tried the dating apps. I honestly don't think that you will find the one on dating apps. I mean, there might be a select few that might happen to, but on there, anyways, where I'm going with that is, on there I see a lot of women always posting their children's number one, their children's number one. And yes, they are very, very important. But the example that you set by having God number one and then your spouse number two is, I mean, it can have a huge effect on your children. And having God number one lets everything else fall into place. You know, I'm not saying none of these are important, but they're all really important. And then the last thing, number 4, is your career or your job. So but like I said, with having God number 1, your spouse number 2, everything behind that falls into place and you're doing the right thing. And another thing I want to say about your children is that they're eventually going to grow up. They're going to eventually go on and start going into the world themselves. And you're going to be left with your spouse. And that's why he or she should be priority over your children. I've seen a lot over the years that once the children move out, then the marriage crumbles or ends. And I think that might be the product of putting the children first, because you're both making sacrifices for the children, but your relationship, your covenant that you make with each other, with God, who is number 1, you make a covenant with him. But anyways, I'll probably discuss some of these more later, but I just wanted to end there and conclude this first episode of this YouTube channel. And going to the YouTube channel, I've been wanting to do this for a few years now. I just didn't have a specific direction that I wanted to go. And I think in this world there is a war against the family. And I think if we fix our families, then we can fix the world. God bless.